All right. Now I know what you're thinking. Where's the lo-fi hip-hop background noise? It's I actually couldn't get, a hold of the copyright for that. It's actually very expensive to license. You may not know that. That's kind of what they don't want you to realize, you know. It seems like it's really low effort stock music, but it's actually not. Those artists make a lot of money. But anyway, what are we doing here? So, the STR-X guitar amp, I think, is due for a patch. And I decided I wanted to do it this way because I thought it would be fun and interesting. So here we are. I've got a couple things on the docket and may not get to this next bullet point today, but it'd be nice if we do. But anyway, there's some bugs with the STR-X. I don't think it passes plug-in val. I thought it did when I patched it. I'm pretty good about testing that stuff pretty rigorously, but I've noticed that there are some issues with STR-X specifically. And additionally, it doesn't really work on Linux. Like nothing I've tried on plug-in val really works very well on Linux. I don't know if it's because it's something I'm doing in the plugins that's messing it up, or if plug-in val on Linux is messed up. It really could be either. Why am I bothering? Mainly because I want to actually use my own stuff on Linux. I like using it. I'm on it right now, as you can probably tell. I think there should be more professional audio stuff available on Linux. There's really no reason it shouldn't be, especially with Juice being so easily cross-platform. Here I am today to make sure that it is as portable as I can make it. And one issue that I do know I've come across is that glibc, the glibc version that it's looking for is not up to date, not accurate. Now, I don't know if that's because I built it actually on an Artix Linux installation. Now I'm on Debian, of course, because you got to keep switching Linux distributions every 5 minutes. Except I don't really want to do that anymore. But it should be able to run on the latest Debian, and it should be able to run on I don't any Debian or Ubuntu distribution for the last couple of years, I think. First things first, I'm just going to try and get it to build, and then see if I can run it in plug-in val, see if I can get it to run in Reaper, and we'll go from there. So I've got a fresh clone. It's messed up because for some reason it changed the permissions of the files for some reason. Probably when I copied them over. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, the submodule should be good to go. And we are, up to date with the master branch. So, yeah. And I am just going to do a production build, which is a custom macro that I have for just setting a release build. It also sets, universal binary on Mac OS. I try to force it to build for Windows 7. If you're still on Windows 7, man, God bless you. If you're on Windows 7 and you're like, I still want to do like audio production. That's freaking awesome, I think. Just like how Reaper still runs on Windows XP. It's, I don't know what that is. I don't know why you would want to do that, but okay, we don't have the VST2. Okay, so Yeah, anyway, all I was saying was the fact that Reaper runs on Windows XP, there's something as like a developer where it's almost like you're bragging if you can do that. I don't know. So, problem is we're forcing VST2. If you don't have the SDK, it's not going to work. I've solved this on later plugins by actually passing a macro for whether or not you want to build a VST2. I'm going to go ahead and just try and rebuild, and it works. Yeah. And I'm just going to build the VST3. Pimax is eventually coming out for Linux as well. I just had to figure out some things with the FFT engine. I'm going to be porting that over from the Intel. They have their own FFT engine, but I found one that's like more open source and just easier to implement, and it's just as fast. So I can just use that on any platform. And we are still chugging along with the compilation, and it looks like it works. So it built. It got copied to our home VST directory, our home VST3 directory. So we can run plugin val on it. I am just gonna do. I'm gonna do the default strictness just for now because I'm kind of wussing out. Yeah. All right. So let's just. It works. Interesting. I think every time I tried that before, it just didn't work. Let's go strictness level 10. And by not work, I mean it would instantly fail with like some exit code. But it's working just fine now, actually. Yeah, so it must have been that I built it with a, oh boy. So that looks like lack of OpenGL support. I don't think I use OpenGL on this though, do I? I mean, why would I? It's like such a simple, it's such a simple UI. If I'm using OpenGL, that's like really dumb. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing OpenGL being linked here. Yeah, I'm not attaching an OpenGL context. That would be a bug if I were. I mean, it wouldn't even compile. So it could be a mismatch between dependencies and what we have on our system, required dependencies, and what we have available. I wonder if I should try OpenGL. Yeah, I don't think so. I think we need to compile like an example project and see if that will work visually. I could also try OmniAmp. because that has OpenGL support. And you can force it through the config file. So I don't really like building the examples. I find it kind of confusing. I'm not like that smart or anything. Let's make ourselves a production build of OmniApp. And there you have it, folks. We are using OpenGL. If I turn it off, it still works. So I don't really think it's an issue with software rendering. Which raises the question of why does this thing not work? Like what's going on there exactly? I could try updating to the latest version of Juice. All right, so we're on like 703. All right. Okay, we are on Juice 707. Yeah, so I built STR-X with 703. And in Juice 704, they fixed a GUI display issue on Linux. So could very well be that that is the issue we are experiencing. Yes, we have success. I am curious what the discrepancy was, though, in terms of both libc versions and the, the display issue is whatever. And I'm fine with distributing this using Juice 707. The last thing I wanted to address with the STR-X was actually the little bug with the volume meter. I'll demonstrate it. So when you switch modes, this little volume meter switches to fit the theme. However, if you're on the low gain mode and then you close the window and you open it back up, it doesn't change back. So the background color is set to gray on the out volume. Thumb color, white. Track, okay, track color is what it is. And we just set that, just hard code it to our sort of special, sort of green value. Okay, it happens on param changed. So it should happen on param changed as well as in the constructor. This same logic needs to happen when we create the UI. But we're gonna have to access the parameter value, which I think is this atomic here. It's not entirely clear, but if we look at this line here, we can see that based on that channel, we set the color to either black or gray, and we're loading the atomic once per paint callback, which I also don't love. And this isn't even the first time I rewrote this code. FYI, this was the first program I ever made, was this plugin. And I've gone through and refactored it a couple times, but it's still a little chunky. I don't know what I mean by chunky, but So this should also just happen in. The background color should be like a constant, or not a constant, but it should be a local variable that gets set in the constructor, and it gets set in param changed. All right, so background color. And so the background color, yeah, I'm not crazy about just like taking a float as a float. Sometimes I just like didn't even cast. I just like just let it be as it is, but you know, that's not great. All right, so we basically just want to take this logic and sort of transpose it here with, you know, minus all this stuff. And let's just, okay, make sure that that is, yeah, so if it's true, it's black. If it's false, or excuse me, if it's false, it's black. If it's true, it's gray. All right. Whoops. Why didn't that change? Oh. You know what it is? It's that I'm not actually using the background color. Fill all with background color. And this is working correctly. I guess I could play around with it a little bit. It's been a while since I've used the STR-X. Oh. There's so much latency. That's because I'm using the terrible, awful, no good pulse audio. But I can't use ALSA because it's currently, so I think if you just type in Pipewire, I've gotten that to work before. Oh. Ooh. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for the STR-X stuff, and you know, I don't feel like working on the Zig thing currently, but that will probably happen the next time, whenever that is. That's something I'm really excited about. Working on generating some new stuff. Zig is a really exciting language, I think, and you're going to want to stay tuned for it. I'm telling you. This is the content of a lifetime, as they say. You're really just not going to get this sort of thing anywhere else other than whatever the name of this channel is, right here on website.com. Yep. Of course, I had to just do the flash of white as a final insult. Goodbye.